We are live. Let me check and make sure everything's going good. And I have YouTube Shorts open. Okay, everything's good. Yes, so this is going to be the final video in this series. There's a few things I decided not to rebuild in this world just because of either A, they were pretty shit, so I'm going to build a new version of it, or, well, yeah, that's basically like some of the pixel art I'm not going to rebuild because a lot of it was pretty shitty. I could do better. I might make like a like I'm because I'm kind of trying to rebuild stuff like as close as possible, as well as the rest of the Olympic class. I'm just not gonna do that because yeah, I really need to redesign this Britannic. I mean it's not bad, but I feel like I could do better. I'll still do a tutorial on this one if people want or if I get bored. And I got rid of this box right here where I had the rat tank, which that's mainly it was basically a big stone block blob. So yeah, but now we're kind of finishing up with the USS Monitor, the last thing that I'm doing. I try my best to do my old design. I don't think it's too bad. I think the only difference might be the back where the propeller is. I'm not sure if she specifically had a four-bladed propeller or if it was the class that came after her that had the four-bladed propeller. Because there was a Monitor stood on her own. She didn't have any sisters, and there's a class that came after her that looked almost, I think, like it was either as when yeah, either when they were built they were as identical as her, or they had like slight modifications like smokestacks and, well, funnels and shit like that, but they weren't considered part of the Monitor class. They're like, I think it's like parasitic or something like that. But yeah, so I got the skeleton done, so this should just be simple fill in. It's not the most detailed, but the ship's also not the most detailed. Like, the ship is, yeah, the ship's, what? Okay. But the ship's kind of just like a floating, like a floating slab, basically. There's not that much detail, which also happens to just be the reason why she ended up sinking because of how low her deck was to the ground. Like her deck was basically like if you have like a little dock going into a lake that basically just sits right on top of the water. Cause basically like the water line was like up to here on her. I did also, compared to my original one, I brought the black down 2 blocks, but it's more accurate for the black to be the lesser color up on this part. And yeah, so let's okay, so we got this, and then I'll do the sloping for the bow and stern. I don't know why. The Monitor is another one of my favorite warships. I'm not too sure why she is. I don't know, I've just kind of had an interest. I remember this isn't my first build. Well, obviously not my first Minecraft build, but even that wasn't my first kind of real build of the Monitor, because I did scratch build a model of it. It's pretty shitty. It was made out of cardboard, and it was made cardboard and styrofoam. And I did it for a school project quite a few years ago. I don't have it anymore. I ended up throwing it out. I can build a better one. I will probably eventually get a model kit for the monitor. Because again, she's probably definitely like one of my favorite non-modern warships, if that makes sense. Even though I'm not sure about other people, but I do consider her as like the mother of modern warships. As I'm not sure if she was fully coated with steel on the outside, but she was the first warship with a turret, which became standard. You still see ships now being launched that still have turrets, except they're different shapes and sizes with the turrets. They're no longer just a circle. I feel like the turret is probably a little bit too big, but the way I did it was for my gun design, so there was enough blocks on each side, and the turret is a little bit off-centered. Not off-centered, like that. Well, yeah, so this, just gonna get the skeleton system of her finished. I might build some other Civil War ironclads. I do find those ships fascinating. Like the more traditional ones, kind of like how the Merrimack was. Or, well, the Virginia. So, yeah, Actually, I'm just gonna fill all this in. This I probably will do a tutorial of, just because I know I did one originally, and if I do a tutorial, it also gives me something to follow if I decide to build this in a survival world, because I might. Although, for that, it'd probably have to be a bigger scale, because this would be the main thing, and you can't really walk here. You only got, like, a small area in the middle. Alright, and then let's do the 4 there. Well, actually, I should start from here. Wait a minute, nope, it goes to that. It's a very simple ship to build. The only thing is they kind of like to get everything how it is, it takes a little bit of time, and you gotta look at some pictures, and I broke that again. God damn it, that's like the 7th time I've broke that. Propeller's not the most detailed thing. It's hard to make details when the ship is, it's about 30 blocks this way and 30 blocks that way, so I'd say, well, it's 34, 34, 68, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 70. Alright, so 68 plus, well, 68, 69, 70, 75, 75, 76, 77. So she's like 77 blocks long. But yeah, I will probably do a tutorial of it. I know it's not really, I don't know how many people are building Civil War stuff in Minecraft. I mean, that would be pretty cool. I always had a little bit of a interest of the Americans, probably because of the amount of times we've covered it in school. Like, that's probably the war that we've covered the most. And I'm not complaining. Well, that and the Revolutionary War. The Revolutionary War is like, eh. I mean, like, it's still pretty cool, but I think yeah, I'll do that. I think the American Civil War, that just is more interesting to me. The best part, well, not the best part about this is just the fact of the hull is so basically shaped on monitor that, like, it very basically shaped that it doesn't take, like, if I was to sculpt out the hull to be like Britannic over here, if she would like to render, we'll load in, like, I would not be able to do something like that on my own. Like, that, just like with that, I'd be following tutorial. I mean, I could also, if I wanted to build a ship, follow tutorial for the hull, and then just do a superstructure of my own. Okay, why is this? Okay, it's because of that. I was gonna say, why is that? The hull is very simple. How am I already screwing it up? So you do this, and then that. Kind of wish she had more detail though, just because I really like detail, and she kind of can't put details on something that didn't have the details to begin with. Of course, you can always put like the stuff that was on the class that came after her. You could do like some of the things they did on those ships. They had which I did. I think what I did in the original tutorial, I added in some designs for that. But I'm not gonna add too much because I want to keep her like kind of in the battle against the CSS Virginia style build, which was where she was just bare bones. I think didn't she also come from the Brooklyn? I think she was built in the Brooklyn Navy Yard. It's kind of weird to think the Brooklyn Navy Yard was around back then. I mean, like I know it's like not really that weird, but to me, like it feels like a little bit weird because it seems like something more modern around the World War II time period. If you consider the jump between technology between, well, that's also, nah, yeah, that's almost 100 years. I'm thinking World War, well, I'm World War II. I'm thinking a lot of World War II capital ships being, most battleships that were in World War II were built during World War One, so that's why I'm thinking World War One close to the American Civil War than World War Two. I could put slabs here if I want it. I think that may have been what I did on the original. I don't know. I'm just gonna fill it in. It's not gonna matter too much. Maybe I'll build some of her ironclads. Well, yeah. I'll try to... there's one in particular I have in mind. I would also like to visit some of the... Well, there's one museum ship that is the actual ship, which is the Cairo, but that's also of what's left of her. They have a replica of the Monitor, which is probably just built out of the cheapest wood, not the cheapest wood, but the cheapest wood they can get, and yeah, cheapest wood they can get, and probably sheet metal. I would love to visit that. Well, there's still a lot of museum ships that I really want to visit. There will be videos on all of them. First one will probably be New Jersey. I've already been to New Jersey before, but I want to go again because I actually understand stuff a lot more than I did last time. New Jersey is kind of what actually got me into ships and all that, because before that, the only things I knew about ships was stuff from Star Wars. So, like, I knew the term cruiser, battleship, and dreadnought. Didn't really knew that, like, obviously they had to come from somewhere, but that was also years ago. So I kind of didn't really think too much about it. Yeah, once this build is complete, it marks the, I'll just have this world complete, which is nice, because it's complete just in time for spring, which starts tomorrow. And I guess I'll choose another ship. Well, I say choose, I mean find a tutorial. Well, yeah, choose which tutorial I want to follow to build another one of those massive ocean liners, because not gonna lie, I've been kind of itching to build one. Even though I just finished Britannic, and that took me from when I very first started till now, that took me quite a lot of years. When I think I first started like a year ago originally. You know what? Let's fill this in, and we'll get rid of this. I don't know how well, actually, they do have Monitor's turret. Um, not sure if it's in like a place where you can go see. If it is, then I might go there to go see that. Could you imagine like a Star Wars version of a monitor, which also, well, the monitor also became its own category of ship, mainly called like a river monitor, being which are ones that I guess often sometimes get confused with the monitor, I would suppose. And so we do this. The black concrete isn't the best because you kind of like just can't see too much when you use it compared to black wool. Um, or maybe, I don't know, I haven't really. If I was to grab black wool, I might change it to black wool just so you can see more when you're on the ship. Down here's wool. I could also do like that or deep slate. Yeah, like the black wool is a lighter, so you can see more. Well, I think it's because it has a texture. I think that's why, because it has a texture. I'm just gonna throw that there. And I'm not sure if well, actually, yeah, I believe the turret did have a door on the back. Um, do we have any doors? I know we have the iron doors. Nope, that's okay. They probably had like a ladder in here that went to the hull as well, so I think I'll do that like right there. And then there may have been an entry to the top of the turret through a ladder on there. Oh wow, that looks very, very fat. Kind of looks like a hockey puck. I want to keep that design. If I get rid of that slight curve, then okay. Big brain time. What if we? Well, that's kind of what I was trying to avoid, was doing that. So then you have the sides be exposed. Yeah, it is very hard to see. But yeah, I'm not gonna do that. She'll just stay hockey puck for right now. I mean, I could just do no, because that wouldn't really. Alright, inside. Alright, that's all complete. So now it's just the. Oh yeah, and then there's also this. Which one cool thing is that since the last time I got it, we had deep slate, and I made up here bow up a little bit, and I'll use deep slate for that. I don't know. I could do it like that as well. I'm not sure if it was like that. I don't know. I wonder if there's any pictures of the actual monitor. Actually, yeah, I think there is showing that the what you call it just bounced off the things from the Merrimack, or Merrimack, Virginia. I think Merrimack was what it was before it became the Virginia. And then we'll do here. Kind of want to build the monitor out of Legos. I think like there was somewhere there had to be somewhere as well that had a ladder that had like a trapdoor with a ladder going into hull. I'm not sure where, but I know there uh, unless it was you going through the turret, like you walk in through a door here, and then that's how you get into hull. Um, that's the only thing I can think of. I'd also I'd also would have to look at the class that came after her. As well for some details, but I know Monitor was different from that class. I wonder what her range was. She was a steamship, but she's not the largest. Like she couldn't have gotten too far on her own. I wonder. I don't know. Maybe she had like tender ships that went out and would refuel her with coal and all that. Not gonna lie, I thought this build was gonna take longer, but it seems that Britannic took longer. I'm not sure what I'm gonna build next. I've also been slowly working on shit in the Let's Play world. Like that mountain with the village that I mentioned in one video about side projects. I've kind of just made that a main project. Iron Farm's been coming in real handy for that. So far, I'm still on grass level. And I'm not even fully all the way down. I'm just at the areas that I chose. Because I might leave half the island elevated while the other half isn't. Still debating on what kind of vibe I want to go with the world with that world. Definitely not modern. Or I might just say screw it and just go with the classic Minecraft thing to where you might have like some fantasy next to a modern day skyscraper. And oh my god, that is, you can barely tell there's a turret there. I don't, did I use, there's no way I used, alright, let's test out whatever blocks I can use. That is obviously gray. There's no way I use this because I can make out where the turret is on the picture I have. Um, it can't be that. It could either, could it be this? No, because that has like a red tint to it. I could do like a dark gray, like that. Maybe I might do a dark gray for the monitor. Like, if we test it out with here, I think this is like where this is the bridge. I think that's supposed to be. Where is the dark gray might work, although it was obviously it was painted black, but the dark gray like could make it look faded. Um, what do we got here that I could possibly use? There's polished blackstone. What does that look like? That is more gray. Might just say screw it and just go with wool. Just because it's not gray, but you can still, you can see like, it's kind of, um, it's kind of, I don't know, whenever I use, well, yeah, you can still like make that out compared to, you know, in the Hermitcraft series, I think it was season 6. I don't know. Well, yeah, it had to be season 6 because that was the only one I fully watched. And Grian made like an infinity room. That's kind of what it reminds me. Like if you ignore that there, you look here, and it's just a well, yeah, that's kind of what the color does. But like it absorbs all the light, and it's really kind of trippy. So I might change it all to wool. just so it still has its color, but like it's not all trippy. I can get rid of this. You know, maybe I'll build some other types of monitor. It's weird to see how there's quite a few, like there's some monitors that have 2 turrets, other ones that look similar to monitor, and then eventually like more towards modern time. I think there was ones built in World War II was like, well, World War II was a lot of the last of a lot of thing. It was, yeah, perfect perfect English. Also, I think that was supposed to be there. I don't know. I'm kind of liking that shape though, but I believe that it's supposed to be like more like that. But World War II is the end of a lot of certain kind of like unique military things, I think, because that's when everyone started to kind of go with, all right, we'll do like the they're starting to go with making things that can kind of do more of everything. Like they got rid of the main battle tank that was, I'm not sure if that was World War II, that may have been before, which basically got rid of, you didn't have heavy tanks, you didn't have light tanks, you didn't have medium tanks, you just had the heavy. Well, actually, they do kind of still have light tanks. I think they're actually working on making a new version, a new light tank. And then you got like half tracks disappeared virtually. Well, yeah, it took some time, and but virtually most classes of Navy ships kind of just disappeared. You really only have, I called them quote unquote destroyers. They're not really, they should be called cruisers because they don't do the job a destroyer did. They do jobs that cruisers, at least the US Navy ones. I'm not sure about other nations, but the US Navy, our modern destroyers do the job that basically they do what cruisers did, which were they, cruise around, they act as escorts for bigger ships. Destroyers were only small ships that were meant to destroy PT boats, which were basically just you get a speedboat and you slap torpedoes on that bitch and you go have fun. That's what destroyers were, because destroyers kind of came out, I think, like right before World War One, I want to say. And then eventually, like, actually, hell, originally they were the original classes of destroyers for each nation weren't really able, they weren't built to go out to sea. They were only kind of coastal ships. What if I say screw it and just do like a battleship gray? I do battleship gray and I'll add like red on the top of the turret. I'll probably play around with that. Kind of like the look of this better just because you can actually make out what things are. It's only slightly brighter. Or It is also, it's hard to get the shape of the monitor. Like it might be better to do, alright, this is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It might be better to kind of do something as in, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Nope, that is terrible. I was gonna say, like, it might be better to do something like that. Or you can kind of do, like, this, but this also isn't really the shape that the ship is. Like, kind of doing that, that's not the shape the ship was. So I say the shape I did is kind of the most accurate you can get at this scale. If you can probably, if you upscale, you can probably get the bow shape to be more accurate. Well, yeah, the ends to be more accurate. They're kind of they're here they're curved basically. Um, I mean, like I guess like making this one stick out and then kind of slowly go to a point. I'm not exactly sure. I think I'm just gonna put this back as the concrete. Because to me, this just looks like gray, and I don't feel like changing the rest of it, so I'm gonna change it back to concrete. Maybe I'll build like a whole fleet of these. I'll have them in different colors. I can do one in like the normal battleship, well, the dark gray that I have Arizona in over there. I wonder if that, I know it's not Lego, I forget what the brand's called. It's not Lego, it's not Mega Construx, but it's the one that makes all the military vehicles. I wonder if they have made, if they've made the Monitor. Apparently they've made the Britannic, which I do want to get that. Although I would really like if Lego might not, because it's World War One. That kind of sucks. Because of their whole anti-war thing, and then they go get a theme that has war in the title. Kind of annoys me. Like, I really wish Lego would kind of try to make like some military theme sets. Maybe not like any modern ones, like maybe for like World War II and stuff like that. Like, it would be pretty cool. But obviously they're not gonna do that. And then all up here has to be. But hey, on the bright side, that's what mock building's for. Maybe I will do the Monitor at one point. The Titanic set was also pretty cool. Although too expensive at the, I don't even know, I think that set's retired. I didn't have the money for it at the time, and it's also Titanic. If it was like a different ship than Titanic, like obviously if it was Britannic, I would have saved up money and got that in a heartbeat. But if it was like a different ocean liner, like the Lusitania or the Queen Mary or the Normandy or the any of the American line ships. All right, so yeah, this is yeah, it's done. I'm just gonna get rid of all these. I don't know why I brought the. I brought the stairs out. I think it was because I thought I needed those for the guns at the beginning, but then I realized I didn't. But yeah, so yeah, we have the USS Monitor now. That just looks like a floating, well, just looks like a shape from the top. Yeah, I'm not sure. I do kind of want to bring the black down to that much, but it's more accurate like this. Do you have anything good? Nope. You die. It does kind of feel like it sits up too tall.
It's also a little bit hard. Like I could probably do well, nah. If I did make this any shorter, then the whole engine thing down here wouldn't work. I mean, granted, I think this is supposed to actually bow up back here, I think. But I like how it looks here. When I could cover the deck with slabs to make it the right shape. Not the right shape. Well, yeah, kind of to make it because down here, like, it's only like a slab taller than it is here. Because this is only like a little bit taller than a person. I'm not sure if the turret is massive. So, yeah, I could do this, like, make this kind of slope a bit. Because they did kind of do that. As well as I could add, like, a little, canopy on top of here. Or just bars. I did add, I remember I did put, like, the same flag that was on there. But yeah, like, I could do iron bars to kind of add. I mean, I'm pretty sure Monitor did have like at one point I think she had the what you call it on the top, but it's also hard to tell because again she looks identical to the class that came after her, and they didn't really I don't really think they had the hull numbers. Well, yeah, I think they probably had hull numbers, but yeah, and some of the classes that came after also introduced the railings on the side, which are kind of nice just because they add a bit of detail, but I'm keeping the monitor in her, I'd say, as-built configuration. Smokestack, well, funnel would probably be somewhere around here, but again, I'm not sure. I don't think monitor ever had that. But I think I will build a flag. So we'll just do the same design that's over here on this one, which is 4 up, 2, 2, 2. Okay. I just like to do that. I know I had it on the original one. I don't know if it's accurate. And then if we get wool, white, black, no, red, and blue, as well as the buttons are over here. We can get the new pale oak buttons, which look good for making the what you call it. And it went out like this, and then like that. Um, and then like this. No, not like that. Like this. And that's like that from that tutorial. That's where the flag came from. It is sitting a bit too low down. It should probably sit up one block. But that's... I think I'll just leave it like that. Because it doesn't look too bad, but it also doesn't... It's not the best looking one, but it just adds a little bit of detail there. If I go to Google The Wikipedia on the monitor would probably be the only one where I can find true pictures of her. Alright, she was what? Ordered October 4th, 1861. Yeah, she was Greenpoint, Brooklyn. Wait, no, 1861, and oh, she sank. Oh, only a year. That kind of sucks. 1861 to 1862. That sucks. Her launch day was January 30th. Oh, so it passed. There actual, I don't think that was Monitor herself. I think this picture is from the classes that came after. And oh my God, why are the guns spread so far apart in the turret? This picture's like a 3D rendering something. It definitely is not the. It. Yeah, I don't think it was what the Monitor did look like. That kind of has the interior. Had the little engine and all that. I don't really think it had room for much. I think the crew had to disembark at night. Oh yeah, there was the picture. So she did have the canopy on top of her turret. I think, right? If I can find a description to say if that is Monitor or not. What caliber guns did she have? I'm a little bit. Oh, she had 11-inch. Damn. Crew. Um. Service. Where is that one picture at? Alright, so that is the Monitor in that picture. So she did have the little, what you call it, that goes, the it's like it's just a little canopy that goes up on top of this, so you can stand on here and not get roasted by the sun. As well as this was also more sloped. Maybe I can do something with, because now we have the deep slate tiles that we didn't have when I originally built this. I could do this, but that's gonna make it larger than it should be. Yeah, like that, which I don't really like the look of. I could. Well, wait, yeah, that goes. I could do like that. No, I'm just gonna leave it how it was. Yeah, I'm gonna stop messing with it. Why do I have a whole stack of iron bars? But yeah, so now my main creative world is back to its former glory, pretty much. I mean, there's probably a few small things that I missed out on that I just didn't have any pictures of. We had the tanks, the mini scale Britannic over there, the pixel art, my two dragon characters there, the monitor, this flying spaceship, well, kind of Star Wars hospital ship with the village, which was from the first edition of the world, and the rest is all from the second edition of the world. Then the monitor, the tutorial I followed for that, and the newest edition being the Britannic that I followed the tutorial for. So yeah, now it's all done, so I can start another mega project in this world. Also, red concrete will probably end up being my most placed block, if it already isn't. Because we have, alright, red concrete, red concrete, as well as the bottom of it as well. It's either going to be red concrete or white concrete as of right now. Maybe black concrete in the future, although I think I'll use black wool for for normal ocean liners, just so you can actually see a decent amount, because like if I was to change this on Britannic, you'd not really be able to see that much unless you like stand a certain way, probably. So, yeah, it feels nice having this done. Now I'm kind of in the mood where I'm like, all right, cool. I wanna build more stuff, but I'm gonna at least wait till tomorrow. I'm probably either gonna build the America or the United States next. I can't figure out which one of those two ocean liners I want to build next. I just know it's gonna be like I'm gonna do them both at one point, but I don't know which the one I want to do immediately next. Let's see how long we're going. Only 47 minutes. So it only took like a half hour yeah, it only took like a half hour to build that then, because I've been like for the last 20 minutes just screwing around with changing things around, so it only took a half hour from beginning to end. Uh, Pretty nice, pretty nice. I could maybe change some things to do more complicated hull structure, but at the same time, like I've said before, uh, there's no need, because the ship's shaping, it's just straight up that's how it is. Okay, well, yeah. Um, Now I get to make ideas of stuff I want to build in the future. I want to build an updated version of this ship, which is probably going to be sized up dramatically. Well, scaled up dramatically, as well as the overall shape. Like, it kind of just looks like a slice of pizza with a bridge. So, definitely like maybe add like a kind of center spine that goes down. Um, as well as kind of at the back as well, make an actual engine area, like maybe make a reactor dome that a lot of the Star Wars ships have. So, yeah, that's I might build more tanks. Maybe not Tiger tanks. If I can, well, might not be good doing the Sherman because of its shape and the colors on it. I don't know, maybe I'll do like Abrams tanks or M60s or something. and eventually over here we'll have more mini-scale ocean liners. But it definitely feels nice to have the world filled up. The only thing that kind of sucks is the render distance. Do I have the yeah, render distance only 10 chunks, which sucks. Like I feel like only having 10 chunks, like I wish I feel like for super flat worlds it should be able to render more. Like because the 10 chunks it's not bad in survival mode, but when you're in a flat world like this, it sucks. Be nice if it could like be maybe in the future they can make it to where it can do like 15 chunks because I feel like that would probably be a bit better. So I guess that means that there's 10 chunks that way, 10 that way, 10 that way, and 10 that way. I could stand on top of a block and then make like a ring going around all the areas that can render. This is kind of here's kind of like the only, well, yeah, I can go a little bit more this way, and then here's like the only place where you can see all the builds at once. Yeah, so I'm not really sure what much I'm gonna build in this world. This is always the world I kind of just did for random builds. So, more than likely, it's probably, most of the builds are probably gonna be tutorials that I follow. And I'll do more pixel art stuff. I do want to do one of my other dragon characters. I did a decent amount of pixel art in other worlds. It's just they were really shitty and I opted not to build them. So, yeah. Anyway, I guess that's gonna be it for this. Hope you all enjoyed this little, what, 5 episode series of rebuilding my main creative super flat world. So, yep, that's pretty much it for me. And this will be Alpha 118 signing off.